Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
Lovers of French wine got an unexpected present from Robert Lighthizer, the U.S. Trade Representative. People had been widely expecting a 100% tariff on wines imported from France, Germany, and Spain, and that actually didn't materialize. Instead, the U.S. Trade Representative made a short announcement on Valentine's Day to the effect that tariffs or duties on aircraft imported from the European Union would go up from 10% to 15%, and there'd be some other minor modifications. And so the modifications were the removal from the list of things subject to duty of prune juice and the addition of German and French butcher and kitchen knives. No mention of wine. So let's step back a little and go through some of the background on this. There's been a long-running trade dispute between the United States and the EU, with each side claiming that the other subsidizes their aircraft manufacturers, Boeing and Airbus. In October last year, the WTO ruled that, in fact, the EU was engaged in unfair trade practices, unfair subsidies to Airbus, and authorized tariffs worth around 7 billion on goods worth about 7 billion or more. And right after that, the Trump administration put in place tariffs on a range of goods, including wines and single malt Scotch whisky, for instance. Now, this had the expected effect that the price of these goods in the US has gone up. The imported wine, the consumption of that has been going down. And so people were really worried about a possible 100% tariff. That gave rise to a lot of lobbying activities. For instance, I'm familiar with opinion pieces published in the New York Times, in the Wall Street Journal, in the Washington Post, all of them talking about the impact this would have on the industry. And for instance, a wine store that I frequent, they wrote a letter to Robert Lighthizer pointing to the fact that their whole business is built around importing wines from Europe, and their business they would be very much at risk of running out of business and might have to lay off workers. So regardless, whatever the reasons, that 100% tax didn't materialize. What can we say more broadly about this dispute on subsidies? I don't think it's going to be settled anytime soon. At the very least, one must notice, at the very least, there is a similar action or case brought against US subsidies to Boeing by the European Union, and I'm sure the Europeans will at least wait to see how that's resolved before they start negotiating on this point actively. So in case you thought that in light of the USMCA being settled and the Phase 1 deal with China, the trade wars were at an end, no, I think not. Unfortunately, we're going to see more of this. The US just has turned its sights on Europe right now. And what happens with all of this, with the price of wine, we'll just have to wait to find out.